and welcome back to Cooking with Nonna. And today I have my very favorite guest, my own Nonna. Say hello to everybody.
Hello everybody, I'm Nonna Roamana, everybody know me.
Yeah, everybody knows her by now. And Nonna, what are we going to make today?
Today they gotta make Taralli Baresi.
Today is the long-awaited Taralli show. I can't believe it's been years and we still have not done the Taralli show. It's just funny because this is probably the first thing Nonna ever learned how to make, ever. And we're from Mola di Bari, so Taralli Baresi, which are taralli that look like this, are kind of a huge part of the culinary culture there. Now, there are lots of kinds of taralli. Lots of places in southern Italy make their own taralli, and these are Taralli Baresi. They're shaped a little larger than, maybe you've seen some tarallini, some of the smaller taralli, but this, big circle is the traditional shape of Bari, and these are the plainest taralli that you can find. These are taralli with no spices, no sugar, no flavorings of any kind, but they are the original, and we are going to show you how to make them.
Yeah.
How long you make taralli in your life?
Oh, all my life, oh my God. Yeah, I started to make something when I was 12 years old. 12.
Well, my great-grandmother...
I make orecchiette, my mother had learned everything from me.
Well, my great-grandmother, Nonna's mother, had a supermarket, had a bottega in Mola di Bari, so they made and sold lots of taralli in their heyday, and this is the taralli recipe that has been passed down in my family now for the third generation. Well, I mean, technically the fourth, but my mother's not really into cooking, so kind of the third. So like 3.5 generations down is how old this taralli recipe is. And they're very, very simple. They're kind of, I think the process is kind of between a bagel and a pretzel, so to speak. They are boiled and then baked and then kind of baked again. So we're going to show you how to make our taralli baresi, and I'm going to go over the ingredients. We have some all-purpose flour, water, some white wine, yeast, salt, and olive oil. That's it. That's all that's in here. So they are very simple, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can, make some taralli that don't look like this, as perfect as Nonna's. So we are going to show you first how to make the dough for the taralli.
Yeah.
How do we make the dough for the taralli?
You're supposed to put water,
Okay.
white wine, yeast, salt, and oil.
Okay, so now we're going to start.
Yeah.
We have the dough hook attachment on our stand mixer. So we're going to start with the water.
I put water.
And the water and the wine, Nonna says it's very important that they are tepid. So she heats them up a little bit on the stove for maybe like a half a minute or so, just to get them above, cold, room temperature-ish. She likes it.
Yeast.
That's some yeast that we have. Okay. So we're just going to get our salt in there. So for the exact recipes and full list of ingredients, just head over to cookingwithnonna.com. We have a link below, of course, and you'll have the detailed recipes with all the ingredients. And Nonna got our, what do we have in here? We have now the water, we have the yeast, we have salt.
I have everything.
And the wine.
All ingredients. Just the oil I got to put.
Yeah, oil goes at the end. So now we got water, wine, yeast, and salt in here. And we're going to start our stand mixer. We're going to lock it first. And we're going to start dissolving the yeast. Okay, so this is going to mix just until our yeast is fully dissolved. So this can take about 5 minutes or so. Okay?
No, I need oil.
Okay, so now we have our extra virgin olive oil. Okay. And now you want to get that nice and mixed together. Nice. So now we're ready to add our flour, and this is when our dough is going to start to really come together.
So I put the flour now. Okay.
Okay. Now you want to start the mixer off slow at first because you don't want all the flour to jump. A little bit falls out. It's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay. I'm going to put this right here. Now it's going to work, and it's going to come together in a nice ball of dough. Okay. So I want to point out that Nonna, often when she's making this dough, she keeps the mixer unlocked. And I wouldn't advise doing that, but she kind of keeps it unlocked, and she keeps her hands on top of it at all times because it's a tough dough, and she doesn't want it to like go up into the mechanism of the machine and ruin the machine, so she kind of lets it go. And what you're looking for in terms of doneness, this has been running for about 5 minutes, this mixer, since we put the flour in. And the dough should feel kind of like Play-Doh, maybe a little bit drier than Play-Doh. This dough should not stick to your hands whatsoever. It is dry to the touch, and you feel humidity like within the dough. So dough is one of those things that you really just have to try yourself. It's a lot of trial and error before you get it right. I'm sure Nonna's first batch of taralli when she was 12 did not come out amazing. But by now, she's been doing it for a little bit. But this is a very good piece of dough. She says that this came out good. Sometimes she says that, like, it's not ready. Because dough is one of those things that if it's humid outside, if it's dry outside, it's going to influence. So now that we have our dough, the next step is to knead it. So back in the days, people would knead this by hand, but then they figured out that passing it through one of those crank machines or a pasta maker, a pasta attachment, would do the kneading for you. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take the bowl away from this. And Nonna's going to put on the pasta attachment. Okay, I got it. Don't worry. I'm going to put this over to the side. Now, if you have one of those old school Imperia machines, those are great. I used to run from them when I was a little girl, but they will absolutely do the job. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to take a chunk of dough about the size of a baseball, and we're going to start passing it through the machine. Okay? And Nonna passes each piece through 20 times. Okay, so we pass this through about 20 times or until the dough does not tear anymore when you put it through. So this is nice and ready, and you can see that the dough is a little bit shinier. So now
become nice soft.
So we're going to work with this piece of dough now, and we're going to start shaping our taralli.
Okay.
So Nonna rolls this into a nice long rope, and then she's going to use her knife to measure and cut out each piece. And whenever you're rolling out a rope like this, I always tell people you start with your fingers together and slowly open them up, and you will get a nice long rope.
You can use a knife or this way, see? Almost. See?
Pretty much. So
or each ends, the ends close like that, or the knife.
There are lots of measuring
same measure.
But each tarallo should be the length of one of the Nonna knives. So it's, it's good for measuring, for cutting.
This is the way, see?
And she pinches the two ends close together. She's probably going to get about 2 out of this piece.
I measure this one like that. So.
Okay. And then she's going to close them. So fai vedere come li chiudi. So she pushes it shut with her index finger.
Give me the knife.
Okay.
See, this is the right side. Right side, see? Then I'm going to do like that. That's all.
This way she makes them all the same size. She likes to make everything all the same size. So we're going to take this other piece of dough and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work it through the machine, roll them out, and this way we'll have another 4 or 5 taralli. And then we'll be ready to let them rise just a little bit, and then we boil and bake them. So, show you one more time. Okay, so now this is our last one. Just gotta measure it, make sure they're all exactly the same size.
They come all same size.
Okay, so now that we have our taralli all rolled out, we are gonna transfer these to a wooden board and we're gonna cover them with a cotton cloth. And they're gonna rise for about 10 minutes. Okay, so now we're just going to cover them right up. Nonna's little dish towel. And in 10 minutes, we're going to boil them. Okay, so now that our taralli have risen for about 10 minutes, we are ready to drop them into this pot of boiling water. And Nonna says they stay inside until when?
Come up.
Until they come up, so until they float. And then we're going to lift them right out, and we're going to lay them on our towel. So one by one, these are going to go in. And right as they go in, they kind of sink all the way to the bottom. So the floating is a really good indication of their doneness. And now we're going to move this towel right over here, because when they come out of the water, they should go onto a nice clean towel. And that's where we're going to make that nice slice on the side of the taralli. So you see how this tarallo, we sliced it before baking. So in the oven, it's going to puff up really nicely. And that cut happens after they come out of the water. Okay, so these have started to float already. See, Nonna, this one come up.
See?
Yep.
All the come up. Put in the top of here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One for one.
So really this is about a minute, not even.
Mm-hmm.
And last one. Okay, so we'll turn off the stove.
Fix like that.
Okay, so now we're just going to start to slice them. And Nonna's going to show you guys how you do.
No, wait. After, they got to stay a little bit. You got to turn. See? They got to come dry.
Okay, so after they come out of the water and they go onto the towel, we want to flip them right over. And we're going to dry the other side. All right.
They got to stay a little bit. They come a little cold.
Okay.
The other way you can cut. Too hot now, you know. You can cut.
Okay, so we're going to need to cool these down for a few minutes. And then when we come back, we're going to slice them. Okay, so these have cooled nicely. And now they're ready to be sliced on the side. So Nonna's going to do the first one.
Yeah.
And with the Nonna knife.
See, Nonna knife, they cut very good. See, nice.
You cut almost halfway into the tarallo, but be careful to not cut too much, to not go too far. And you want to hold it in your hand between your thumb and your 3 fingers, and you want to cut towards the middle and rotate. There you go. And meet the other cut on the side. Okay.
lo fai come un seghetto,
Yeah.
il coltello, così si riesce a tagliare.
So Nonna said to make sure your knife is acting like a little saw. And rotate.
I'm sorry, I can't speak English well.
Oh, you're fine. Everybody
Yeah.
loves you.
I know. No.
But everybody understands you.
Yeah, thank God.
Okay. So now that we have all of our taralli cut, we're going to transfer them to our baking sheets. And Nonna swears by these aluminum baking sheets. She does not like to use anything else. None of like the regular jelly roll sheets or anything will do. She only likes to cook on like disposable aluminum pans. And as you can see, this has been like well loved. So we're going to just position them here. Mettili pure tu.
Ok, fai così.
3 in a row. And these are going to go into a 475-degree oven for the first 7 minutes. And Nonna will say that she doesn't like, exact times like that. They bother her. But for about 7 minutes, or until you see that they start to puff up and rise, and that split that we made, that slice that we made on the side, will be very, very evident. At that point, you want to lower the oven to 400 degrees for about 20 more minutes. Until the taralli are done. They'll be golden brown. They will look just like this one. So I'm going to pop these in the oven, and then we will lower the temperature, and then we will see you back when they are fully cooked. Okay, so these are our taralli, fresh out of the oven. These are fully cooked, and you see they've taken some really beautiful color. So I love them like this because when you break them open now, they're going to be a little bit soft right on the inside, but as they cool down, they will harden. Now, to make them last for a really, really, really long time, because Nonna is obviously into making things last for like a really long time, she's got a little trick, and she puts her taralli right out of the oven. I guess she lets them cool down a little bit, and then she puts them back into a 180-degree oven for 15 to 30 minutes. And that way all the humidity dries up, and they're going to last for months. I mean, they shouldn't last for months. People will eat them, but they could last for months if you needed them to. But I love them right out of the oven like this. You remember I used to eat like this?
Yeah.
I like mezzo crudo. She calls it, they're fully cooked, but she calls them half raw.
It's very good. Yeah, I love too. But I love croccante too, the other way I make.
Crunchy.
Because you can keep for 1 month. They're still same. Yeah.
Love these. So these are our Taralli Baresi. This is the most classic recipe you're going to find. And thank you for teaching me how to make these today.
Okay, my baby. I love you.
Ciao.
Okay, ciao everybody.